Hi, my name is Maya Loving, and this is my final project presentation for the Capstone project. I decided to do my project on TikTok versus body image. So, the purpose of my project was to deeply study and research the effect that TikTok has on our mental health and our body image. And I wanted to focus on ways to figure out how to use social medias like TikTok and not deal with triggering content that promotes disordered eating or like self-hatred. I feel like TikTok has become so big over the years, like maybe the past 3 years, and a lot of the content that I personally have seen on there has been pretty triggering to my body image and my confidence and just a lot of stuff like that. And I think it's kind of scary how overwhelming that can be, especially for like the young users on TikTok. So I really wanted to focus this project on that and trying to figure out ways on how we can maybe minimize seeing that kind of content. Because obviously, social media apps aren't just going to go away. Like, I love TikTok. I do. This isn't me hating on it at all, but I do think a lot of the content on there is a little bit triggering and kind of toxic. So I just kind of wanted to research that and see if there were ways to get around that. So for my research, I used a few different sources. So first, I used two different research papers that I found from the Alkic Library database, and these are listed there. And then I also used an online article by NBC News called It's Not Worth It. So, more research, although those sources gave me a lot of information, I wanted to try to study this a little more on my own. So, I created a survey using Google Forms where I was able to ask people who live in the San Marcos area, mostly college kids, about their usage on TikTok and if they've ever felt like it has any impact on their body image. And I ended up getting a total of 51 responses. I asked about 20 questions, so some of the answers varied, but here's a glimpse at some of the responses I got that were not shared on the blog that I created. So if you went to my blog, I shared a few other answers, but there was 20, so I didn't want to, include all of them on that. So here's a few more of the answers I got. So I asked, how often do you find yourself comparing your body to people on your TikTok For You page? And 40% of people said somewhat often, 30% said very often, and lastly, only 26% said not often at all. So, with 40 and 30 being the highest percentage that we had, even though somewhat often was the answer, it still is often. And, that's not a good thing if you're, struggling with your body image or eating or whatever it may be. Like, going on TikTok, you're not trying to go on there and leave feeling worse than you were before. Personally, I go on TikTok to make myself feel happy and laugh and have I don't want to see triggering content on there. And also, by the way, the ages for the survey that I asked, everyone was between the ages of 18 and 35, and the majority who answered were 21 to 24. So, and then I asked, do you think that before downloading TikTok, you had a better or more positive outlook on your body image? And 48% people said no. They did not feel like they had a better positive outlook on their body before downloading TikTok. 44% said somewhat, and 8% said yes. Um, okay, we already did that one. So, at what age do you think is best for a person to download TikTok? So the highest answer being 49%, everyone said 18, which I completely agree with because in this corner you can see, do you know that over a third of the users on TikTok are actually under the age of 14 years old or 14 years old? Um, so that was really wild to learn. I learned that in one of the research papers that I studied for this project, and learning that blew my mind because I know me, if I were to be growing up on an app like that, I would have felt just so overwhelmed, comparing myself constantly. And I still do, but I know growing up it would have been a little worse. So, what's the solution? I think the solution would be to keep advocating for body positivity on social media and for the few body positive influencers that are out there to continue spreading self love and body positivity. There's only so much that we can do on TikTok, but I think that interacting with accounts that support self confidence, no matter what size you are or what you look like, is really important. So I really do hope that someday TikTok will become less toxic, and I think we are on the right track to making that happen. My biggest takeaways would have been to be learning that so many other people feel the same way that I feel about TikTok and its influence on our body image. I and so many others are not alone with these thoughts and feelings, and they are valid. As crazy as some people might think it is, TikTok really can have a negative effect on our body image. Some lessons I learned were that no matter who you are, what you look like, where you're from, if you're on a social media app like TikTok, especially if you post often, and even if you don't post, you simply just scroll through your For You page, chances are you're going to see something that makes you feel bad about the way you look. With downloading the app, you're taking that risk, and I can only hope that our society someday will be able to stop tearing each other down.